All right, today we're diving into a really critical piece of safety gear you'll find on any tanker, the deck seal. Now, it looks pretty simple, but it's the only thing standing between normal operations and a total disaster. So let's get right into how it works.
So, picture this. On a huge tanker, you're pumping inert gas from the engine room all the way to the cargo tanks. That's to stop the cargo from exploding, right? But there's a direct pipe connecting them. So what stops all those flammable, explosive hydrocarbon vapors from traveling backwards down that exact same pipe? Because if they ever reach the engine room, well, you're looking at a catastrophic explosion.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with that hazard, then look at the solution, the ultimate flame arrestor. We'll see exactly how it works, what you need to inspect, and then we'll wrap up with a review to make sure you're ready for your orals.
Okay, first things first. Let's be absolutely crystal clear about the problem we're trying to solve here.
I mean, look at this. It's a simple physical pipe, a direct link that connects the safe zone, the engine room, with the hazard zone, the cargo deck. And that pipe is a potential highway for disaster.
So how do we fix this? How do we build that one-way street for the gas to flow? Well, the answer is a beautifully simple but brilliant piece of engineering.
Meet the deck seal. It's what we call a critical non-return safety device, and it has two massive jobs to do. First, it acts as a physical barrier to stop gas from flowing backward, and second, it's a flame arrestor, which means it stops any fire from racing down that pipe.
Now, its location is just as important as what it does. Look at this position carefully. See, it's not tucked away in the engine room, and it's not right next to the tanks. It's fitted right there on the deck, creating a clear boundary line between the safe zone and the hazard zone. That placement is absolutely vital.
Now, you'll see two main kinds out there. There's the wet type, which uses water as the barrier, and the dry type, which uses mechanical valves. For this explainer, we're going to focus on the one you'll see most often, the wet type.
Okay, now for the really important part. Let's get inside this thing and see how just a little bit of water and some smart physics create an almost perfect safety system.
Before we see it in action, let's just get our bearings. So look here, gas comes in through this central pipe. We call that the downcomer. It goes into this chamber of water at the water bath. After bubbling through, it passes these demister pads up top to get the water droplets out, and then it leaves through the exit pipe and heads to the cargo tanks. Simple enough, right?
All right, so this is normal operation. Follow the flow with me. First, inert gas arrives from the plant. The pressure of the gas forces it down that central pipe and right into the water. Then you can see it just bubbles up and out, flowing towards the tanks. And just before it leaves, those demister pads strip out the extra moisture. Easy. Forward flow is happening.
But now, watch this. This is the magic. What if flammable gas tries to come backwards from the tanks? That back pressure pushes down on the water in the main chamber. And where does that water go? It's forced right up into the central pipe, creating a solid column of water that completely blocks the path. The gas has nowhere to go. It's a perfect automatic fail-safe. Remember this, the water itself becomes the barrier.
So look at them here, side by side. On the left, normal flow, gas is bubbling through. On the right, backflow, the water barrier slams shut. The most amazing part? There are zero moving mechanical parts needed for this to work. It just uses simple pressure and gravity to switch modes automatically. That's what makes it so incredibly reliable.
So, a simple system like this is super reliable. But its safety? Well, that comes down to the human factor. It depends entirely on proper inspection. And there is one single thing that matters more than anything else.
And here it is. This is a huge exam point. The entire safety of this system, and maybe the whole ship, relies on the water level in that seal being at the exact right level. Not too high, not too low. It has to be just right.
So what happens if it's wrong? Well, if the level is too high, the inert gas might not have enough pressure to push through. That means your cargo tanks are unprotected. But if the level is too low, that is catastrophic danger. There just isn't enough water to form that blocking seal, which gives flammable gas a wide open path straight back to the engine room.
Okay, let's pull all that together with a quick review and a few questions to make sure you've got this locked in.
All right, rapid fire revision. What's its function? It's a non-return valve and flame arrestor. Where is it? On deck, between the safe zone and the hazard zone. How does it work? A simple water seal blocks backflow. And what's the key inspection? The water level. It's absolutely critical.
Okay, first question for you. What is the primary function of a deck seal?
You got it. It's to prevent the backflow of hydrocarbon vapors and to act as a flame arrestor. Question 2. In your own words, how does a wet-type deck seal stop backflow? That's right. The back pressure from the cargo tanks forces a column of water up into the inlet pipe, and that water creates a physical barrier that stops the gas in its tracks.
And for the last and most important question, what are the 2 main dangers if that water level is wrong? Number 1, if it's too high, you might restrict the inert gas flow. And number 2, if it's too low, you allow flammable gas to flow back to the engine room, creating a massive explosion hazard. That's the one you never ever forget.
Can I be your superhero? Superhero. You take the